Yeah, actual memories. Like
This poor kid.
yeah.
This poor kid.
Yeah.
You know, and one of the notes I had, like,
and she's getting bullied by a grown man right now.
What do you mean?
What do I mean?
What grown man is bullying her?
You.
Oh.
And welcome back, everyone, to Pro and Noob episode 15 for Neon Genesis Evangelion episode 22, Staying Human. If depending on translation, I can't remember what they called it in the episode. Mitch and Jarod.
Yo, the mid card literally just calls the episode "Don't."
Is it just "Don't"?
I'm like pretty sure it is.
I mean, I know it's a really short one.
It's "Don't," and I agree. Don't.
Like Asuka haters, it's.
Are you displaying my patience for this character?
You're close with one letter.
Listen.
It's not the size of the nail, it's the hammer you throw at it.
I'm not even going to engage with that.
That's what she said.
I want to make one thing abundantly clear.
He has very bad opinions. Right?
I have phenomenal opinions.
Phenomenally bad opinions.
People are saying my opinions are great.
They are fundamentally not. That is
many
lie.
Many people have said you have sir, you have incredible opinions. Again, I think Asuka is a compelling character.
Correct.
I think she is a very compelling character.
Correct.
And I think getting a peek into what makes her tick makes her even more compelling.
Correct.
However,
this is very
motherfucker, she is grating. And a lot
misogyny, I'm calling it now.
Please. Look at
JD Vance over here. God damn, like, come on now.
I cannot believe you.
Really?
I cannot believe you.
Really?
You're being so not charitable with me right now.
I mean, you give what you get, don't you?
Listen, again, I think the episode is a good episode. I think it made Asuka even more compelling. It's just not working for me. It's just too much. And I think that it is a hazard of the art style and the format, where you have the over-the-top dialogue and inner monologue that is just cranked up to 11. That again, I understand that these are features and not bugs, but they're features that sometimes don't work for me. I know whenever I was first dipping my toe into the worlds of anime, that one of the things that were kind of a bar for entry for me, and this is hilariously coming from the guy who loves Star Wars, is just the really, really over-the-top dialogue. And it was the hyper-explanatory dialogue.
I would love to say that's a Netflix fault because they rewrote the show. There are some changes in dialogue. Not like plot, but it's not that different. It's really not.
And again, I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad thing. You know, it's just one of those, like, it was something for me all the way in eons past that was kind of a high bar to clear for me to get into the art form, period. Right? So when you take that and then you combine that with a character whose like main modus operandi of how they engage with other characters within the narrative is to just scream at them about how much they dislike them, dislike their having to be around them, and their perceived superiority over them, you run the risk of it just becoming too much for me. And this episode was this weird back and forth of me being able to appreciate like how and why Asuka is like this in the moments of the flashbacks, then having to be juxtaposed with the way it would manifest with her in the moment. And having to square those things where it's like, this is really compelling to have to take somebody whose like primary fear, the thing that propels her forward in this life, is the sense and terror of having to feel replaceable, of needing to make it clear that they are not, that A, they are not replaceable, and B, they will never allow a situation to take place wherein they can be perceived as replaceable. Or, to a greater extent in many ways, that she will never allow herself to be subservient to somebody. She will serve causes. She will fall in line when she thinks it's adequate, whenever the orders of the ideas are adequate. But at the end of the day, she has this very snake eating its own tail relationship with authority that leaves her to be rebellious to a fault. And so self-assured that she creates situations where she cannot win because it is a failure kind of that she is tailor-made for herself. And yes, I have also seen epic confrontations. Maybe that's why I don't like Asuka. I see too much of myself in her.
See, that's the interesting one, though, isn't it? Because you can that can always go either way, right? You see yourself in a character, you relate to it, you get attached to that character. You see it, you don't like it.
Yeah, and I mean, and I'm mostly being facetious there with the epic confrontations joke. But I will say, and again, we talked about, not too terribly long ago about how Asuka is kind of like the forerunner of a very specific trope, a very specific flavor of character in anime. The kind of like hot-headed prodigy who's too good for their own good. I love Katsuki Bakugo. Now, I say this as somebody who is not seen as much of My Hero as I would have liked to have.
How much you've seen of that?
Mitch, we would watch entire seasons in about a day and a half, so I don't know.
Do you know roughly what was the last thing you remember?
The last thing I remember is the arc after they fought Overhaul.
After that, okay, wow. So you've seen a fair amount, okay.
And they do like a little party. It's kind of like a little like kind of soft, like breezy kind of like party arc right after that, right? After they defeat Overhaul and save is it Ray? Is it
Ari or
Ari,
something like that?
Ari.
Yeah. The little girl with the horn.
Yeah. See, it's funny.
Not that one.
I played myself because Travis's girlfriend got two cats not long after seeing that arc and named one Ray after Ray Skywalker and the other one Ari after that character. And in my head, I'm like, I want to say Ray.
It's one of the cats.
Because for some reason, my brain is telling me Ray, but I'm not spelling it like the Jedi. I'm spelling it like the Ava pilot.
Ray and Nami.
Yeah. What the fuck is going on? Very funny intro last week, by the way. But anyway, all of that to say, I love Katsuki Bakugo. I think what that makes Katsuki more palatable for me than Asuka, I think it is an execution thing, and I think it's a setting thing. I think it is a setting thing. Yeah. I think that especially because My Hero does play around with a lot of superhero trope. That
Bakugo is literally just an attempt to make Asuka a guy.
I won't weigh in on that just because I don't think I am entitled to enough of an opinion on that. You know what I mean? Like with Bakugo, like, you know, he does have a parent who loves him very much. You know, I think with him, it's way more of an imposter syndrome. I think it's way more rooted in a like.
I mean, Asuka's absolutely an imposter syndrome.
Well, part of it is
100%.
imposter syndrome, but with her, it's more rooted in that sense of abandonment and in that sense of disposability. Whereas Bakugo, it is very much coming from a place of like straight up bravado and fear and a lack of self-assurance than it is like with Asuka, a very, very, very specific manifestation of a particular trauma. Now, again, I want to put that caveat on there that my familiarity with Bakugo as a character does kind of have a hard stop before what I only know by cultural osmosis is a very big bout of development that he does get. Do I know any of the details about that? No. All I know is that he ends up on death's door and it kind of changes how he engages whatever. That also might fully be manga and it's either not been realized in the show or whatever. But,
well, fun fact, that moment is currently happening right now.
In the show?
In the show, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Because the manga finished like, what, 3 weeks ago? So they're probably like a year and a half behind, so... I'm trying to work out. I know. I literally just fucking watched it happen in My Hero. But yeah. So
all I know is I remember very early teen app days, there were like Travis led a conversation about like Bakugo might die. What does that mean? And again, I very much want to revisit My Hero and get caught up on it in the process. All of that.
Well, we might do. No, we don't know.
I'd be down for it. All of that to say, this is an archetype I like. Raphael is my favorite Ninja Turtle. You know, Damian Wayne and Jason Todd are my two favorite Robins. You know,
Anakin
Skywalker, you know, like the hot-headed prodigy is something I love in fiction.
I know I joked about it earlier, but I am noticing a slight pattern.
I haven't been exposed to very many women in that role. And again, like I
say that completely taken to be.
I know you do, and I know that I'm not helping my own case here. And again, I'm fully willing to fall on the sword of like maybe this is just an unconscious bias that my brain cannot compute.
It's against me. That's what it is. That's
in
why,
this role. Maybe that's part of it, but there's just something about the framing with Asuka that bugs me about it. There might be a part of me that just cannot get past how, and we've joked about it, but like really uncomfortable I am with the Asuka Kaji stuff. Like, and I understand that Kaji doesn't fucking like it. I understand that it makes him as a character uncomfortable. I understand everything about what's going on there. And I appreciate what they're going for. It makes me deeply uncomfortable. I was squirming in my seat when Asuka kind of like rips her blouse open to be like, look, I've grown breasts. Like I'm actually a woman now. Like viscerally uncomfortable. And I think that because her introduction in the show is so tinged in that obsession with Kaji, it might be a hurdle I've never been able to fully get over. And just how that colors my perception of her as a character. It is really complicated, but I say all of that.
Again, but that happens with Anakin and Padme, right?
It does to a much lesser extent.
I mean, there's obviously not the explicit nature that Asuka goes to, but...
Yeah, but I mean, with Anakin and Padme, it's, you know,
I think a kids movie is what that is.
Well, sure, but also Anakin, even on Anakin's end, it's pretty platonic. Like Anakin has his like, wow, like you're probably the most beautiful person I've ever seen. I'm also 9. Moment.
What's it 9? I'm sorry.
with Padme in Watto's junk shop. But like, it isn't until Anakin is older that he has a admittedly pretty mature and like real world moment of like, there was this person I saw when I was a kid, and I've kind of like had a moment of like, wow, that was kind of an awakening for me, and I didn't realize it in the moment. But at the time, it's just like, oh, I want to impress this person I like. I think
He's Rizless, that's why.
That there are twins that beg to differ on whether or not Anakin Skywalker is Rizless. He's just got what friend of mine and underground rapper Damage like to call that Tism Riz. But
oh yeah,
I don't like sand. But no, I like the place that this episode goes to with her psychology. And again, just because like a lot of this is kind of shown in the abstract. So I haven't necessarily think I have a question for you so much as it's just like, this is just as literal as it is portrayed.
in what way?
Like the psychosis from the mother, the content warning.
As in everything happened the way that he was shown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actual memories. Like
This poor fucking kid.
yeah.
This poor kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and one of the notes I had, like,
and she's getting bullied by a grown man right now.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
What grown man is bullying her?
You.
Oh.
I was like, come on now.
That was
grown white dude just bullying this poor like European girl.
We're all white here.
That's yeah, I don't know.
But no, I will say, and maybe it is explored down the road here, and maybe part of it is that nobody's really supposed to know that Kaji is dead.
Everyone knows but her. This is a Shinji and Toji situation.
No one. Okay, so everybody does know that Kaji is dead.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought there was
Shinji definitely knows because he obviously hears the voicemail before Misato hears it.
Oh, he heard the voicemail. Okay.
Yeah, so he's home when it's recorded. That's why he's like just completely avoiding it straight away. He obviously knows something's happened, and then her reaction kind of confirms it, right? I'm pretty certain Rei knows. Well, I assume Rei knows. Gendo obviously knows.
Yeah.
Ritsuko obviously knows. The only person that doesn't is Asuka.
There's a moment there when the phone rings where what I thought was happening was obviously Misato knows because she got that posthumous message. But that the official word had not yet come out. And that when the phone rings, there's kind of a moment of like, this is it. Like, everybody buckle up. Here it comes. And
so the only one that might not know is Rei, as well as Asuka, obviously. But, you know, someone like Gendo's going to know. Fuyutsuki's going to know. Like, those two clearly are going to know. Misato obviously knows. Shinji knows. So elimination is one, at least one, possibly two that don't. Rei's obviously not going to give much of a shit anyway because she's Rei.
No, yeah, but no, I was a little disappointed that at this moment of emotional vulnerability that we did not get to see Asuka's reaction to Kaji's death.
But I think it makes it worse this way. Like, at least for the character, right?
In what way?
Well, it's the same as Toji, right? It's being purposely kept from her for the sake of her being a pilot.
Okay. I mean, for me, my outlook was like in this moment where she's like completely coming undone and is like fully been surpassed. Like Shinji like conquered death in a way that is just fully insane and beyond the pale, right?
Death in quotes.
Sure. Again, let's go back to Magic Ava Juice, where they had to fish his consciousness out and hope that a body was recreated out of the juice. I am using the show's language verbatim here. Like, it's not, they
not quite verbatim, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, they didn't say Magic Ava Juice, but they may as well have, right? And so it's obvious seeing how and why she is reacting in the way that she is. That it's like Rey is just so frustratingly competent at this job, and clearly has such favor with Commander Ikari, that like Rey is kind of this just non-starter. Like she just can't crack her. And no amount of vitriol and piss and vinegar and actual physical violence will get a reaction out of Rey.
Yeah. Because she's just a puppet. She's a doll.
She's a clone.
Is she?
But I'm not letting it go, man. I'm not letting it go. Die on this motherfucking hill. That is not a natural birth. That is not a naturally existing human being. And with Shinji, he has been able to do things with the Ava that on paper should not be possible, and has overcome just ridiculous odds because
he's
the indomitable human spirit and all of that. But despite all of that, Asuka has been able to shake him. She has been able to get in his head, and again, just using her mind and her vocabulary as a blunt force weapon, has been able to bludgeon Shinji into some sense of submission here and there. But there's no amount of calling him an idiot. There's no amount of changing his name to Idiot Shinji in her own internal monologue.
It's a fitting name.
No. The motherfucker isn't just Shinji Ikari. It is Idiot Shinji Ikari. And again, I relate because, here I am with the title of loser just permanently stapled in front of my name everywhere I go.
Is that why you don't like Asuka?
Why? Because she's me. Fucking Diaz.
Let's be honest. Did you just say Asuka's Alden?
As a joke, yeah.
I mean,
because she's mean.
Truthful.
Because she's mean and can't accept the power of friendship. But I truly do love, this is a complete sidebar, the way that you have allowed this show to become like a full just piece of tie-in media to all of the fucking buffoonery. That there are just constant like verbal cameos of all of the people I work with that show up here.
It's fine. What am I going to do?
I just think it's funny.
How am I going to stop you from doing that?
I just think it's funny that like bits from epic confrontations also live on Pro and Noob. But all of that to say, but there's no amount of berating Shinji that can undo the fact that he quite literally had a Lazarus-style resurrection last week. You can't bully that out of happening.
No.
He died and came back.
But yeah, carry on.
He basically died and came back.
Yeah, basically.
For all intents and purposes, died and came back. So
she disappeared. It's fine. Yeah.
And she's seeing her sense of meaning. Pardon me. She's seeing her sense of meaning kind of slipping away, and in this moment, she just can't hold the memories and the whatever's at bay. And you're watching somebody come undone in real time, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, and it is that sense of superiority that is, it's this weird catch-22. It's like I've used this comparison before in a very different context. But it's like pumping an engine full of nitrous oxide, where it's like you're gonna like boost it.
Something's gonna blow eventually, though.
Like you're gonna get these pops, of just flying, but eventually this shit's going to literally explode. Mm-hmm. It is not sustainable, and we have crested past sustainability for Asuka. And I've found her deterioration to be very profound. And in the same way that the Angels week to week, their abilities tend to be a manifestation or extended metaphor of whatever the characters are going through. Mm-hmm. It could not have been a worse week for the Angel to be a large-scale telepath that can attack you from range. And just, press play on the #memory gauntlet TMCR and just make her live that shit. On the topic of the Angel this week, that music, good God.
Yeah.
I thought that was very funny. They're not funny. Like it's, very clearly hearkening in the, like, not only are we in the end game, we are in a biblical end game as to what is about to happen. I have to again ask a question.
Go ahead.
The Spear of Longinus, the Spear of Destiny.
Longinus, but yeah.
Whatever we want to call it.
I want to call it Longinus.
Okay. The Spear of Longinus. How... Stop me if you've heard this one before. How literally is this the Spear of Longinus?
About as literal as Adam.
So it is a biblical code name that happens to map on very conveniently.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. You see, these are questions you could have answered a month ago, I'm finding out, that you simply did not answer to fuck with
No,
me.
because if I tell you that this is actually the Adam, then it's a bit of a disservice to the show. If I tell you it's not the biblical Adam,
I feel like a month ago you could have told me that symbolically the name Adam represents the first of its kind that would go on to help be the
no, because that would have shattered the illusion you had, and I couldn't have that.
Oh, okay. You see, Mitch, when I say that I have a hard time trusting you,
I tell you, I have not lied to you once.
That you did truly let me go on a months-long paranoid spiral, trying to figure out just how much the literal biblical ... of anything was in play. But okay, cool.
But here's the thing: you're now assuming that it's not right. That it's just a tacked on thing. It could still very much end up going the way of it is the biblical Adam.
I am still of the opinion that these beings are of some form of divinity.
I mean,
it just may not necessarily be a literal Christian divinity. Like I said, I have landed on a Assassin's Creed style. These are the precursor people. And that Assassin's Creed ended up plagiarizing Genesis Evangelion.
Well, a lot of stuff has.
Like the Bible, it looks like.
Yeah. You'll know the Bible was written in 1998.
You shouldn't have said that because that's the year I was born.
Wow.
Get ready to watch me be a real ass about that. And just, don't cry. Okay. Huh?
The anti-Bible.
Where we all lose.
That's arguably the Bible.
So note that I had in here I forgot to mention. Misato telling Ritsuko to kick rocks made me very happy. With her little "I'm not going to take lip" from somebody who substitutes humans with cats. First of all, I don't like cats. Fucking rule. So like, let's not.
They rule you. Yes, they are.
Let's not shit on the cats, but
cats kind of so.
Any available pot shots at anybody who's like fully in the nerve system are well earned. But
Misato's based, so it's all good. It doesn't matter.
Misato is very based. But yeah, no. Also, I think Commander Akari's plan was to remove the Spear of Longinus from the equation intentionally. Because if it's an angel killer, it would be kind of convenient if you're trying to like destroy the planet with the angels / Avas to take a weapon that can basically cripple them in a single blow and remove that from the battlefield would be really convenient. Oh, I no-scope that one. I can tell.
No, I'm trying to think out a word, and if I can actually say it or not. I'm having a cog spinning moment, but they're old and rusty, so it's going slow. Is it intentional? I don't think I'd say intentional. I think I would say it's a acceptable loss.
Interesting. Also, 13 Avas.
Yes.
Are nearing the end of production
now. No, not quite.
Okay.
Because it's 13 including the 3 they currently have, plus Unit 3, plus Unit 4 that are no longer here.
Okay, so
because they say
it's more
like
5,
3, 13. Yeah, I think it's 9. I want to say they say 5 through 13. I want to say
Okay. But yeah, no, I thought this is a great episode. I had a lot of fun with it. Not fun, but I thought it was really powerful.
I was going to say, it's not a fun episode in the slightest.
No.
It's traumatic, especially for me.
But yeah, no, deeply uncomfortable, but incredibly well made. And yeah, I like this one a lot. It was a good time. Not a good time, but it was a good watch.
Good.
Good stuff on the screen.
Now. Did you see anything about the next episode?
Description pops up. I couldn't even tell you what it said.
Oh, good. Because
I glanced at it. I cannot pull it from memory right now.
Good, because it's the episode 23.
I got all my answers now. I know I went into this show saying that we probably shouldn't be watching the episodes on camera. But there is a part of me that's like, maybe we should watch it together and have it like recorded as its own mini thing. Because if this is the episode where it all comes together, because there's only like 2 or 3 after that, right?
There's 26, so it's 3, yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. So if there's only 3 episodes after that, I think it would be really fun as its own little like piece of bonus episode, whatever, to do all right, sitting down to watch episode 23 after all of the pomp and circumstance leading up to this moment, to watch me become to become a man unmade.
Because there is one that they'll talk about. Actually, no, I won't say that. No, that's not what I meant to say. There is one thing you didn't bring up in this, but I'm going to leave it at that and not tell you.
What? No, tell me what it was, because I might have a note about it. I just didn't think it was like as important as some other stuff.
It's to do with Asuka's mum and the specifics of why.
Of why she took her own life and like what drove her mad?
Yeah.
Do they say?
Kind of.
What did they say?
They say something that they've also mentioned before.
Which was?
As I said, I'm not going to tell you.
Well, if it was in this episode and I didn't catch it.
No. This is what you get. So tune in next week, everyone, for episode 16 and 23 of Neon Genesis. Follow Jarod on the link trees at the Nerd Academy Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yep. By the time this is out, go over to the All Remaining Systems YouTube channel. We're doing a live stream talking about seasons 1 and 2 for Ionized Bastards. So come watch that. It's good. The panel is going to be hosted by Scotty J. Rowe from the Bombad.
Of course
cast.
It is. Yeah, of course it is.
Lonnie
I have to go through like an hour and a half of that man for a certain thing.
Oh, for the trailer you're working on? I'm not
because
it exists. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, how do I work that in? And I'm not sure, to be honest.
Oh, we got.
I'm not sure if I just keep the audio and not have Scotty in it at all. Just like background music of him doing noises.
Oh, like of him during the pod race where y'all.
Like that entire bit. Like, do I just have him be the backing track?
I mean, he's in the last 5-10 minutes of the season 2 premiere, and then he's in almost all.
There's like an hour and a half episode long, or however long it is, and he's doing that the entire time. And I was sitting there, just half the stuff that happened in the episode, I can't remember. I couldn't tell you. I was just like focused on how long this man is keeping this bit up. Like, how is he still going? One
of the only 2 times I used Cycle of Hate and succeeded on the save.
I think it
is during that battle on the fucking pod racers. But yeah, so go check that out. Scotty's going to be helping kind of moderate the panel and walking us through and asking us questions. And we're going to be unpacking Ionized Bastards, the first 2 seasons, as we prepare for the final season of the show.
Go watch it. It's good. It's fun.
You get to watch me have paranoid breakdowns like I do on this show pretty much every episode.
Not quite like this one. This one's better.
Oh, you think my paranoia is better over here? I will say
completely unbiased take, but yeah.
Well, I think it's because most of my paranoia doesn't actually happen on screen for Ionized Bastards. It is me like psychotically texting Michael between episodes.
I believe it. Yeah.
I mean, if you go back and look at some of my text messages from Michael, I predicted Halex would double cross us and I'd end up in a lightsaber duel with her. But I tried to
say, didn't you two like actually? Oh no, that was the other thing, wasn't it? Yeah. No, ignore that. I just remember something.
But yeah, there's that. I did predict the Aurochs Rise of Salvage thing, and it is all the product of me being deeply paranoid when I play RPG with Michael. That I am cartoonishly untrusting of everything.
Just like here. But we get to see it.
Yeah, but you get to watch it happen in real time. You guys get live looks at the Mind Palace here.
Mick and Marv, you can say whatever you want in the comments. I know exactly the reactions that's going to happen this week.
Oh.
the Oscar army will rise. It will win.
You guys have fun with that. But yeah, everybody except you weird little fucking Oscar stands. Nice.
Yeah. I'm editing that out on purpose.
He's gonna put a big banana on a crucifix over this.
Hey guys, thanks for watching or listening, whatever flavor you prefer. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the good stuff so you don't miss an episode. And of course, leave a comment, tell us what you thought about this episode of Neon Genesis. If you watched it before or you haven't, I generally love to hear what people think about this show. If you're following along with us, that's great. If not, and you watched it before, tell us what you think about this one specific episode in particular, because we are trying to keep Jarod spoiler free as much as possible. And yeah, any help is greatly appreciated for this little channel project we're working on here, trying to build this up. And of course we can't do that without you guys, so yeah, any help is greatly appreciated, and we'll catch you all for the next one, so take care.